Welcome back everyone for more Q&A. Today we're going to talk diet and exercise, health, a little bit of menopause. Don't forget these questions that I am answering came from you about a month ago on Instagram stories. I had such an abundance of questions that I decided to break these videos down into different topics or categories. A couple weeks ago, I did 2 Q&As. One was on lifestyle, lots of things to do with systems, routines, time management. You're going to want to check that one out because it covers a lot of ground. Then I did a second video a couple weeks ago where I honed in on marriage and raising children. Stay tuned. This will not be the last one. In a couple more weeks, I will come back for the final Q&A where I am going to talk about relationships, not marital or intimate relationships, but more relationships with family members, friends, colleagues, co-workers, neighbors, whatever. We'll be back for that. But today, diet and exercise also. I have been tackling a few questions on Instagram stories over the last couple weeks, so be sure to be following me there. And I highly recommend that every day you check my Instagram stories. It's hit and miss which days I pop on. So if you go there every day, you'll be sure not to miss anything. We're going to start with the diet questions because when it comes to weight loss or health, you are going to make the biggest impact through your diet more than exercise. In an ideal world, we would be tapping into both, but if you want to make the biggest impact, it's going to happen through diet. I say all the time, you can't work off a bad diet, so it doesn't matter how much exercise you are doing, you cannot work off a bad diet. But let's start with the very first question. This particular question was asked 3 times. Why did you stop intermittent fasting in 2020? Great question. Clearly, if I had it entered 3 times. I'm not going to say that I quit intermittent fasting in 2020 because I'm against intermittent fasting. We have to be careful with that. When people make changes, often we will think someone is against something or doesn't support something. Not the case at all. I just do like to switch up my diet. My body gets very acclimated to things that I do, and so it was just time to switch things up. So it is true that I have not been intermittent fasting throughout the whole entire 2020. I'm sure there's been a day here or there, but it's only a matter of switching things up. No other reason. I do love intermittent fasting. Many of my clients incorporate it. I strongly encourage it if it is something that you feel is going to work for your lifestyle and something that you would like to give a try. Next question, do you still incorporate prolonged fasting in your regime? I will share with you that I have both intermittent fasting videos linked in the description box as well as prolonged fasting. Prolonged fasting is a little different than intermittent fasting, so if you want to learn more about it, click on one of the videos in the description box below. I have not done any prolonged fast in 2020. Again, fully support prolonged fasting. I'm hoping in maybe 2021 to start incorporating it again. I do believe there's so many health benefits, and you can find out more about what those are in my videos. What is your mid-afternoon snack attack? Wish I could help with this question. I don't really have a mid-afternoon snack attack. I am more of a small meal person. So I eat small meals throughout the day. That is just what serves me best. It also keeps my energy levels up. And I believe a lot of it also is because I have such a rigorous exercise routine that my body wants to burn fat. It wants to use that fat as fuel. So I do better by eating small meals throughout the day. I will share a couple of my what I eat in the day videos That will give you a good idea of the timing of my eating, as well as what I generally flock to as far as macronutrient breakdown. What do you do when your appetite is out of control? For example, during PMS. Again, I really can't say this question applies to me because I don't really feel like I am more hungry at certain times than other times. If anything, I may have cravings, and I kind of honor my cravings. When you're in maintenance mode and you're not on a weight loss program, you can get away with including a few things that you may be craving. So for me, if I'm really craving something, I'm probably just going to have it, and I'm just going to allow myself to have that cheat treat or cheat meal. Of course, can't get away with a lot of that because I'll put weight on. Everyone is going to be different, but when it comes to PMS, yes, I have some signs and symptoms, but if anything, it would be more craving. But if I needed more food, I would take in more food because I just want to listen to what my body is telling me it needs. Suggestions for healthy but salty snacks, not sweet. Everyone covers sweet snacks. Well, I'm not much of a snacker, but if I were working with a client and they wanted to incorporate some salty snacks, we're going to first talk about what is your goal, because if weight loss is your goal, we're going to have to watch what those snacks are. I think for a lot of people, not only do they maybe want something salty, but they're looking for a little bit of that crunch. They want to really tap into the palate and what it desires. So I would say sliced up cucumbers with Himalayan pink sea salt would be a great salty treat if you're really into weight loss. You can definitely incorporate some tree nuts. This would be your almonds, pecans, walnuts. Be careful because you can have too much of a good thing. There's the Quest potato chips. You could try something like that. Of course, that's not going to be nutritionally dense, but they come in small little bags. I will have a link below where you can pick up the Quest potato chips. I've talked about them in the past. The nice thing is they align with a low carb diet, and many people do try to watch their carbohydrate intake, especially their starchier carbs. So I would say maybe some of those, but if weight loss is the goal, try to think of something that's crunchy, that's not necessarily sweet, but maybe more in the vegetable department. What eating plan are you currently on? Not a very good one. Not a very good one. So I am the true, when I say you can't work off a bad diet, boy, I am so the truth to that right now. Although I have not suffered during the whole pandemic and COVID and all of these restrictions and stay-in-place orders, it really has not affected my disposition or demeanor. And even with all the changes with Kirsten and Tim's wedding, I can't really say that it affected me as far as being in a funk more or having more down days or being depressed, whatever you want to call it. And I know I recently talked about this on Instagram stories when someone asked if I have been depressed throughout this whole thing. I can't say I've been affected in that way, but I will say that my eating has been off the whole time, meaning I have ate so much more restaurant food, not fast food, but going out or takeout. I see this because it's really reflected my bank account for one thing, and it just wreaks havoc on the diet. I've also upped the wine intake. So ideally, my diet would really be what I share with you in the videos that I have linked, what I eat in a day. That's typically how I eat. I don't follow one prescribed eating. I get the best results if my grams of protein are the highest. And then, so I would say more of a higher protein diet with low fat and low to moderate carbs. It's really important for me to keep my protein high if I want to see muscle tone. Whenever I keep my protein high, I always seem to, it shows up. It reflects on my body with muscle tone, so that's where I get the most results. But I'm not really following any prescribed diet. I don't really do well with that. I don't count calories. I don't count macros. I don't do keto, although I tried it and really couldn't stick with it. It was very lazy keto, and I did a video talking about my keto experience and what I ate. I will have that video linked as well. So for myself, no particular diet, but I do have another question. Best diet for weight loss, or what is the diet you would recommend for weight loss, and best diet for health? This question is proposed to me all the time, and everyone wants that little golden ticket. They want that pill that is just going to do the job. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. If you look around you, you can tell there's no one diet that fixes everything, because we live in a very overweight society, or at least where I live, most people are overweight or obese. You don't see a lot of fit people. Different places throughout the world, you will see more fit people. So it can really depend. But clearly, we wouldn't all be paying attention to what we eat so closely if it were that easy. So it's not. I always tell my clients, and you, when you ask, the best diet for you is the one you will stick to. There's no, all diets work. It doesn't matter what you choose. You can do Weight Watchers. You can do keto. You can go vegetarian, vegan, paleo. The Atkins used to be around. There's so many different diets. They all will achieve weight loss. All of them will, if they're followed. It's not the diets that fail us, it's we fail the diet. And I hate to even use the word fail. It's just, it shows it's not something you could stick with. So often you will hear someone share that, yeah, Weight Watchers doesn't work, or keto doesn't work, or this doesn't work. It's because we don't want to take accountability for what we do. So it's so much easier to pass the buck and say something doesn't work. Here's the thing. They all work. They all work. Different people will have different results depending on how much you show up for that diet. So it's not that keto didn't work for you. It's you couldn't stick to it and therefore you didn't get results. Makes complete sense. You can't really say Weight Watchers doesn't work, because it clearly does, because many people have lost weight. Just because you have not doesn't mean it doesn't work. You just couldn't follow the program. No big deal. That's okay. Pat yourself on the back for giving it a shot. You can still try it again someday, but try something else. At the end of the day, weight loss is really more about calories. So if you're taking in more calories than what you should be eating in a day, and you have to consider how much exercise you're incorporating, you're going to either put weight on or stay where you are. You have to have that deficit to lose weight. Now, not all calories are created equal. So if weight loss is all you care about, and being healthy, you could care less if you're eating healthy or not eating healthy, which sometimes I will have a client say, I could care less what I eat. It's not about getting healthy. I just want to lose weight. Well, if that's what they want from me, then I'm going to help them figure out how they can achieve that with something they're going to stick with. If I say, no, you can't do that. Oh, no, you have to eat healthy food. Well, it would make sense if they don't stick to it, because that's not what their desire is. So when I'm working with a client, you set the agenda. It's what do you want? What results do you want, and how far are you willing to go? So weight loss, a diet for weight loss can look very different than a diet that is about getting healthy. If someone really needs to take control of their health, the foods that they take in are going to look much different than a weight loss. Hopefully they would still lose weight. Often they will. But you have to understand the two. Most of the time, we want to lose weight but also eat healthy. Well, that would be eating food that comes in its natural state that is nutritionally dense. So you're going to eat lean proteins, you're going to eat healthy fats, you're going to eat a lot of vegetables, especially green vegetables, and you're going to eat minimal fruit. That's going to give you health. But it also has to go with what type of results am I getting? Am I getting any results to begin with? Because if I'm not, then clearly what you're following isn't working, or you're taking in too many calories, because you can take in too many calories that are good calories, that are good nutritionally dense food. You can still have too much of it and put weight on. So it's just so important to really understand how weight loss and health work. As you progressed through your 40s, how has your perimenopause regimen evolved? The most important thing when it comes to the perimenopause years leading into menopause, and I've been in it for over 10 years, believe it or not, I'm about 12 years in, so I am more of a severe case. I was 37 when I first started having symptoms of perimenopause. I am 49 now. It's been a very tough and difficult journey. I don't talk about it a lot and extensively, but I do have a couple videos that I did a couple years ago, but it is always evolving. Next week, I actually have an appointment because I had some blood work done and we are testing my levels again. So I really don't know what the plan is going to be moving forward, but there will be something, because as I'm plugging along and having a lot of the unfortunate side effects, mainly sleep being the biggest one, which really can just affect every aspect of your life, something has to give. And because I strive for optimal living, I'm responsible to make that happen. So I have to take the steps and have the tests done and see the appropriate people so that I can get myself on a plan so that I can feel good, get the sleep I need, take care of my health, and therefore feel optimal. And I always talk about you have to be your own health advocate. You really do. This is even going back to diet or even exercise. People will love to tell you what to do. It's funny because here I am, a health coach, and have been for 15 years, and you never hear me tell anyone what to do. But yet I almost have more oomph and juice in education to be able to do so. But I don't, because I don't know what's going to work for you. We have to try some things, but people will love to tell you, do this for weight loss, do this for menopause, do this, do this, do this, because they're taking their box and they're jumping in your box. Everyone's situation is going to be different. The best thing you can do is, again, be your own advocate in all areas that have to do with your health and how you feel, because the communication, if it's working or not, will come back to you. It's not the communication of other people that are going to tell you if something's working, because they're not in your body. You have to pay attention, and the way to do that is just really clue in to how you're feeling. Do you feel optimal? If you don't, what are you doing about it? Do you suggest a food log for people trying to lose weight? If so, what's the best? A simple pen and paper entry or an app like MyFitnessPal? Actually, I did tackle this question about a week and a half ago on Instagram stories, but I thought I would also tackle it here. Again, I don't have that answer, and people are always looking for the answer. What is going to work is what you're going to use and stick with. People will have planners and then they'll never use them. So it's not the planner that doesn't work, it's the person isn't utilizing the planner. So we always want to blame things. But if you're not going to stick with logging your food, then it's not going to work for you even if someone else does. I do love it because it's great to see what you're taking in, because if you're not getting the results you're striving for, often you can look through that food log and you would be able to see where there could be an error. If you want to use an app if you're going to stick with it. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm not going to take the time to use an app. These things take time. Logging takes time. It's not something I'm going to do, but I'm also very savvy. I know if I'm eating too much. It shows up. Unfortunately, you can't lie. I can't blame anyone and I can't lie. Okay, what's on the body is a result of what I've been doing. But not everyone can do that. And that's the starting point, is to take accountability. But yes, love the food log. Also be careful if you're logging your food, but it's making you obsess about food and think about it all day long. Ask yourself, is that really serving me? Is that really in my best interest to constantly be thinking about food? Moving into exercise, really only have one question here, but I'm also going to just add in some nuggets when it comes to exercise. The question is, what are the best exercises to tone triceps? The exercises that you'll stick with. There you go. You can Google different exercises. I would have to show you, so we would have to do a routine. If you don't like your arms, which many people don't, the biggest reason is you're carrying too much fat on your body. Also, as we get older and we get into the menopause years, we have what I call menopause arms. So even women that are lean, you will often see that their arms just are thicker. And that really does come with those menopause years. All the more reason to be incorporating resistance training, whether you want to pick up dumbbells or use bands, but it's so important to work that upper body. I also like to incorporate little 5-minute exercises. They're videos that I do that are not utilizing weights. So I will weight train one day, and at the end of, let's say, doing my shoulder workout with weights, I will finish with this 5-minute arm video, and your arms are already exhausted and spent. So doing that will also help, and that's going to help keep those arms, the muscles in your arms, your triceps, your biceps, your shoulders being more toned. But you will never see the work you're doing if it's covered with a layer of fat. So you can't work off a bad diet. If you have a large amount of fat on your body and you're working out, whether it's walking, running, doing weights, doing HIIT routines, just understand that yes, you are building muscle and you are getting toned, but it's underneath a layer of fat. If you want to see your hard work, you have to get the fat off the body to see it. And the same comes especially with the arms. The women that keep their bodies at a lower fat percentage are going to have nicer looking arms. It's just the way it is. Also, longer arms are going to look leaner than shorter arms. If you have more of a shorter frame, you often have to watch things a little more as far as when you put weight on, you can really see it in the arms and sometimes the legs because you don't have the length going on. So now that we're kind of talking about exercise, I have so many videos, probably 30 to 50 videos where I talk about exercise, getting into shape. And I'm going to share with you right now, if you are relying on being motivated and feeling like you want to exercise, it would make complete sense that you don't get the job done. Because think about it. Who really is motivated to exercise? Meaning when you're going into it, when you're getting ready to exercise, when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and tells you it's time to exercise. Who is really motivated? So if you're relying on having that feeling, it will make sense that you'll never get there. You have to have a number of workouts, walks, whatever your workout routine is, whatever you're going to stick with, it can be whatever. You have to have a number per week that you really want to get to. So if you start out with, I need to work out 3 times this week, you have to make that a non-negotiable. It's not about motivation. It's not about feeling like it. It's not up for negotiation. And until you can fix the mindset, it would make sense you won't get it done. The people that commit to their workout routines, their walking, whatever it is, they do it because they don't think about it, because it's just what they do. It's not about the feeling. It's not about the motivation. So if your week is going to start on a Monday and end on a Sunday, and you have a minimum of 3 workouts to get in that week, you need to look at your week and say, are there any days that I absolutely cannot work out? It's not going to fit into my schedule. And you're going to X those out, and you're going to see what you have left. Now, you still have to get those 3 workouts in that frame, and you've already X'd off days that aren't available. Then you get it done. It's not about motivation. You factor it in your day somewhere. You schedule it in. It's not up for grabs, okay? Unless something catastrophic happens. No one feels like working out. Now, trust me, most of the time, and everyone's going to be different, once you're finally in the midst of that exercise routine, that workout, that walk, that jog, whatever it is, now that you're into it, you're feeling a little bit more the feeling because you're in it. It's really what happens leading in that we drag our feet. So just understand that's a process. Just get through it, push through it, suck it up, whatever you need to do, because it's a non-negotiable. So get the workout started. Generally, you'll start feeling it. Sometimes you won't. Doesn't matter. You still have to finish the job. Okay? That's how it's done. It's not complicated physically. The complication is right here in the head. It's the 6 inches between our ears that often cause us is it 6 inches? I don't know. No, there's more than 6 inches. I don't know. But it's what's happening between our ears. It's what's happening in our head that is causing so many issues in our life. So get out of your head. Get out of your head. Get the job done. Quit thinking about it. Quit analyzing it. Quit, is it right to do this? Is it right? Should I do this or that? Or she's doing this? Or is this program right? Or how do you, just do it. Just do it. Do it before you're ready. Do it before you have the feeling, because you may never have the feeling and you may never be ready. Okay, one life. One life. Get her done. Get her done. One life. Okay, if you live with regret, you have no one to blame but yourself. You can't blame the diet. You can't blame the neighbor. You can't blame the husband. You can't blame the kids. You can't blame the weather. You have no one to blame but yourself. And you have 100% control to take the power to get the job done. Yeah. Now I need to take some power and get the job done. Oh, but there you go. Q&A, diet, exercise, health, menopause. And don't forget, I'll be back later on at the end of this month with relationships. Some other things, fall, fashion, accessories, lots of fall videos coming out. I did a video on fall candles. It'll be linked. Fall makeup beauty launches. I also just last Friday did fall shoes and booties. I'll have that video up here so you can watch it right after today's video if you haven't. But it'll be linked as well. And then I have more fall videos coming up. Actually, in last Friday's video, I was wearing a denim jacket. So many people asked me to do a video on denim jackets. That's coming out this coming Friday in just a couple days. So be sure to check that out. And the biggest thing I want to share with you is come back 2 days from today on Wednesday. I will be right here on YouTube live for a Wine Wednesday with Coach Ashley and Coach Lena Marie. The Single Girls Kit was a course. that Ashley and Lena Marie did in the spring and had such great success and so much love given to them. So many of you reached out and said how much you loved this course, so they are offering it again this fall. The course starts next week, but in 2 days, we will be here, Wine Wednesday, on YouTube, streaming live. You can watch it. If you want to join the Zoom webinar and be in there with us, there will be information and a link in the description box below where you can save your seat and you can actually be in the room with us so that you can ask your questions about being single or about the Single Girls Kit 6-week course. And with that, I leave you and I will see you right back here in a couple days at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's September 16th, 2 more days, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. See you there. Have a good one.